SkyWarn weather with Chief Meteorologist Garry Frank.
Today's highs yielding a number that we haven't seen for several days in our area. 110 in Blythe, 110 specifically in Yuma. That's the one we haven't seen in a while. Blythe has reached 110 recently in the last several days, but 106 in Mexicali, 109 El Centro just falling short, and 108 in both Imperial and Quartzsite for our high temperatures. Not cooled off too much. As a result, we're still at today's high in Mexicali of 106, 108 in Yuma, and 108 in Blythe at this moment. We're seeing our dew points really averaging right around that 50 mark at the moment. And it's really pretty much the same as we saw yesterday. We saw some drying a couple of days ago, but it's not too humid. It doesn't feel too bad, especially when we compare it to last week when we saw some of that monsoon moisture. But our relative humidity values hovering around the 15% mark, and that will stay the same throughout the rest of the evening. Our winds calm in Mexicali and matching 12s in Yuma and Blythe, whereas we're just about half that in El Centro and 6 miles per hour from the southwest. Our winds will begin to shift to the southeast tonight, and here's the reason for that. We're in a southeasterly flow, starting to see some of this cloud cover headed our way. That usually brings moisture, and that is no different at this time. Our monsoon flow, even seeing some clouds outside. We saw some to begin our day, and here they were. This is what it looked like, some high clouds. They're just blanketing the sky. Those are cirrus clouds and even a few contrails in as well. They're just some of the higher ice crystals, and that's why we're getting some blanket from them. But as a result, they didn't keep our temperatures down too much, did they? Still got up to 110, and we'll see these clouds filter in as we go throughout the rest of the evening. So expect middle 100s throughout the area, but pretty sunset. It's going to be very nice outside, looking much like the one in the photo. So we're going to see a very nice sunset. So keep your cameras ready and make sure to send me a photo or two. Facebook, Twitter, or email. We'd love to have you share that so I can share it with everyone else. Calm in the morning, 83, jumping up 20 degrees in 5 hours, and then we add 5 more in 4. Southeast winds 5 to 10. Sunset at 7:40. We're losing 2 minutes of daylight right now, almost per day. We are inching ever closer to fall, but still feeling like summer outside, and it is. 101 at noon, 107, but you may notice a little bit more in the way of moisture. South winds ramping up to 15 to 20 throughout the day. Sunset 7:36 for your Thursday. Now, temperature-wise, what does that relate to? 107. Well, white right now, that is, well, pretty much the average, and we look to right on the white. Just not much of a change as average. This is way up in the upper levels of the atmosphere, but it gives us an idea of what we can expect. We are talking about just pretty much the same. That excessive heat staying well off to our east, and it's going to stay that way. We're not going to change much temperature-wise. Moisture-wise, dry air still pushed off, and as we look further to our east, here's that southeasterly flow I was mentioning on the water vapor map. You show some of this moisture really starting to pick up towards our area. That's when we're going to see a little bit of that headed our way. Now, rainfall has really not been much of an issue today in Phoenix and Tucson, and we see Desert Doppler at 5 o'clock. Local Phoenix area, even towards Prescott, staying fairly calm, but areas further to our east, that's when we're seeing that moisture. And as that increases, we'll see our rain chances increase as well. Precision Cast shows those clouds staying with us through Thursday in the afternoon. More of an active day throughout the mountainous regions between Phoenix and Tucson, but staying away from us. The most we receive is cloud cover. One thing we can note over the next several days is we can't rule out one of those storms that eventually head our way that fall apart. Brings our winds up, so we're going to keep an eye out for some locally blowing dust, but it's going to be very, very isolated. For the next 7 days, we're going to stay pretty clear with the exception of a couple of clouds. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're at 107 Sunday, Monday, and also Wednesday, which is our average high in Yuma as well. And that's going to be a common figure as we enter the month of August. So even though we saw 110 today, not going to see it for the next several, and we're not going to be too far above average. Kelly and Karen.